This time we're going to venture into something different. So this lesson is about how to make individual, or what I call little cakes. We're going to kick off with something I've been looking forward to teaching: scones. This is 40 grams of spreadable butter and 225 grams of sieved, self-raising flour. What you're now going to learn is how to rub the fat into the flour, lifting up the mixture, as always, to get the air in. This is what's called a rubbed-in mixture, and I'm going to show you slowly how to do it. Take the mixture and gently combine the butter and the flour, starting with your thumb on your little finger, and gently slide it across all your other fingers. Then grab another handful and repeat gently, not in a hurry, and the mixture will eventually look crumbly like this. Now stir in 1½ tablespoons of caster sugar and a pinch of salt, followed by 110 ml of milk, a little at a time. Use a knife to begin combining the mixture, and once all the milk is added, lose the knife and bring it together using your hands. Do this until it becomes a soft, smooth dough. If it needs a little more milk, just add a fraction using your fingers. The dough is moist enough when there are no crumbs left and it leaves the bowl clean. Then, using a flour shaker, sprinkle a board or flat surface with flour and also flour the rolling pin. This is to stop the dough sticking. We're going to roll the dough lightly and evenly, so don't press too hard. Let the weight of the rolling pin do its work. Roll gently using your fingertips, just like this. The dough should be about 3 centimetres thick. This is vital because one of the reasons scones don't appear to rise enough is that they're rolled too thinly. This is a 5 centimetre plain cutter. Flour it first, then tap it sharply so that it goes right through the dough. Don't be tempted to twist it or you'll get funny shapes. Cut as many out as you can, then knead the trimmings, re-roll, and cut some more. Place the scones on a baking sheet with a liner, then sprinkle them with flour and bake near the top of a preheated oven, 220 degrees, gas mark 7, and they'll take 12 to 15 minutes. Now you can see how they rise up and turn a lovely golden brown. Crusty on the outside, light and fluffy within. Serve very fresh, even warm, with fruit preserves and clotted cream. Now you know how to make plain scones, you can go on to make this version. These are rich fruit scones with the addition of an egg and some mixed dried fruits. Or you might like to try a different twist on scones. These are going to be Welsh cakes. A similar mixture, but as well as dried fruit and an egg, they also contain mixed spice. But this time, they're cooked quite differently. In a hot, heavy-based frying pan that's been lightly greased with butter. As you'll see, the dough's been rolled out much more thinly. Cook for about 3 minutes on each side, flipping them over, and if they're browning too quickly, just turn the heat down, but they do need to be quite a dark colour. Serve them warm, spread with butter, and perhaps a little drizzle of Welsh honey. These little beauties are called chocolate surprise cupcakes because they contain a surprise ingredient. This is the first time I'm going to show you a melted cake mixture. Start them by placing a bowl over a pan of barely simmering water. Just make sure the bowl doesn't actually touch the water. The gentle heat will be enough to melt our first ingredient, 70% dark chocolate. You break in 75 grams, then pour in 50 grams of creamy condensed milk, followed by the same of light muscovado sugar and 75 grams of block butter. Now everything's got to melt slowly and gently and blend together. So give it a stir from time to time, just to help it along. Meanwhile, to a bowl, add 1 large egg, 110 grams of sifted self-raising flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. Plus, and here's the surprise ingredient, 110 grams of mashed potato, which is going to give an extra squidgy, moist texture to the cupcakes. I'm also adding a level teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice. You don't have to use it, but it gives a subtly mysterious spiciness. When the chocolate mixture is ready, just combine everything together by whisking till smooth and creamy. They're baked in these muffin trays lined with paper cases. So divide the mixture between the cases . Now they'll need about 15 minutes in the centre of a preheated oven to cook. And while that's happening, you can make some lovely fudge icing. I like to ice the 12 cupcakes with 3 different chocolate icings. This one is 75 grams of white chocolate melted with the same quantity of condensed milk and then a teaspoon of butter added at the end. You can also decorate with different coloured chocolate buttons. Now, some very short, buttery, melt-in-the-mouth Viennese tartlets. This time we're beating together 175 grams of spreadable butter, 60 grams of sifted icing sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use a wooden spoon and just beat till creamy. Then sift in 150 grams of self-raising flour, add 40 grams of corn flour, and form everything into a soft paste. Divide the mixture as before between 12 paper cases. Then use a teaspoon that's been dipped in water. Press the mixture down and make a space in the centre of each one to make a tartlet shape. Then using the back of a spoon, make a pattern like this. These used to be made with a piping bag, but we think life's too short for that, and this works perfectly. Bake the tartlets near the centre of a preheated oven for 20 minutes until they're golden brown. And don't worry, they will be still slightly soft in the centre. Allow them to cool in the tins for 15 minutes and fill them with your favourite fruit preserve. We like Morello cherry because it's not too sweet, but lemon curd is nice too. Just before serving, dust them with icing sugar, which won't obscure the filling, but leaves delightful little red blobs in the centre.